Open your mind's door to Jsnip4. Open your mind's door to Jsnip4. American dream, relocated to Tennessee. Now he's on 10 acres, GMO free. Planting info seeds in the minds of the sheep.
Well, it's been a while. I know I've been working some sick hours, over at the restaurant, getting, the beginning stages done and over with, and learning, my boss and I, learning what it's like to start running a restaurant. We don't have that kind of background, so it's probably a little more rough on us than someone who's got that kind of background, jumping in there. We're just, hadn't been ready. So, anyways, I'd like to be doing some more videos, more than what I'm doing right now, because there is so much to talk about. I mean, I'm seeing stuff, and then I'm just working some pretty big days, so it's just like, man, I just want to get home and crash and spend, time with the wife and kids and that kind of thing. And I've been telling her, don't put the kids to bed normal, let them stay up a little later so I can come home and see them, but we're making progress to where I'm not gonna have to be working so late all the time. We got stuff going on, so it's working out. It's and the other good news is a lot more people are coming into town, and man, we've had a bunch of, well, I guess a bunch of people, different people trying our food, saying, over and over again, this is the best hamburger I've ever had, this is the best ribs I've ever eaten, it's the best pork sandwich, best beef brisket in the world. Stuff like that. So, it's good. it's doing good, I guess. But I'm seeing all this stuff like over in the EU, Cyprus or whatever, how the uninsured people, uninsured banking deposits are just gonna get slaughtered, basically. You could say. So, just want to talk about that a little bit, but I've done some some videos on that, or maybe a couple of recently, but I just was in there reading about how parents that have kids that just got out of school in their 20s, with student debt, they finally got a job, whatever, or not, either or, how they're getting life insurance policies on them. So I'm gonna do a video about that in a minute, and then another video of a couple, I think it was in Oregon, maybe in Portland, Oregon, and they got their house raided by sheriff's deputies and maybe another, I don't know if it was the FBI with them, or I think it was just the sheriff's deputies, but like across county, two separate deputies, areas or whatever, police forces came in because they had grow lights, and they said they've been monitoring them for 2 months, and they go inside, there's tomato plants and like squash. They had an indoor garden. But I just want to let y'all know, this particular video, I do plan on doing a lot more videos in the near future. Maybe a little bit out before I get back on. Like I used to try to do at least 1 to 2 videos a day. There's that much to talk about. I remember when there was just hardly anything to talk about, and it'd be like 1 or 2 videos a week for me, and I'd look for stuff, and now it's like I don't have to look anywhere, it's just right there, it's everywhere. But I'll give you a little view of a different side of my house here, or property or whatever. Sun's out, it's not real cold out at all, it's probably 60 something, I'm guessing. The sun came out, it's been rainy and not too cold, but rainy today. Finally hear the birds chirping for once. I guess it's signaling spring. So I came out here today, I was like, man, these birds are whistling away. And I got a little bit of trees, and part of this hill up here is my property, not, I think, up to that telephone pole, like right around there, back towards me a little bit. It's part of my property. It goes straight back, like where these woods are, and then it goes straight back there. But for those who don't know, I moved out to Tennessee from Florida, Tampa, Florida, basically, to get out of the city. I don't like what I'm seeing, and You know, right within weeks, 2 weeks, I think we heard about the, you know, Miami uh, police department working with the military, doing those chopper flyovers of downtown Miami, and people were hearing gunship fire from the helicopters above. But they said, oh no, it was fake, right? You know, blanks. We were doing an exercise with the county, you know, or the police department, and oh, what were y'all doing? Well, they didn't really want to tell anybody what they were doing, but they were having exercises together, joint operations. I told my wife, I said, man, we got 2 weeks to get up to Tennessee, before, you know, out of Florida anyways. Not that we had 2 weeks, like all hell was going to break loose, but in other words, in 2 weeks, we're going to Tennessee. We don't have to worry about this crap. And she said, well, it's just one thing, you know, one incident. Have you heard anything else anywhere else? I said, no, but I'm going to be watching and seeing. I bet there'll be more. Man, within a day or two later, I think it was Dallas, Texas. Or no, excuse me, I think it was Houston, Texas. Because I told her that day, I said, man, Miami is one of the worst crime rate cities in the country. And of course, Los Angeles would be another one, you know, big areas where there's a lot of people and high crime. And, you know, population centers of the country. So I said, man, we need, if I say another one of these in a big population area where you know there's a lot of crime, big city, that's the sign that this is what that's for. Well, sure enough, I believe it was Houston, Texas, and then about 2 days later or so, boom, Los Angeles, California, the same exact type of thing. So I told her that, I said, and I've mentioned this on YouTube, I said, man, that's why I'm moving to the country. Do you think I'm going to see a Department of Homeland Security bulletproof checkpoint or any personnel when I'm traveling back and forth every day, 30 to 35 miles, whatever it is, to my job on these county roads where I normally will be lucky if I see more than 1 or 2 cars? I'll be like real lucky if I see 5 or 6, like, oh crap, you know, was a parade going on in town and there's 5 or 6 cars going on the street. You think they're going to put that personnel and that money and all that over here? No. Like I said, this is for the big city limits. That's where they're going to be dealing with all the chaos when the shit hits the fan. So it makes sense. On a side note, which I guess I'll end this video, is we brought our dog up here, little Petey. He's a year and a half old now, and he found him a little girlfriend next door, little Sally. They're about the same size as each other. They've been like the best of friends out here. He's loving it. You know, 10 acres. She's showing him around the neighborhood. You know, not that this is a neighborhood, but showing him around the fields and everything. And he's following her around, and they're hanging out every day. He's outside, doesn't want to come in until it's, you know, gets cold out at night. Then he's ready to come in after he's done playing with his little girlfriend. Dog's just loving it. So, you know, we're happy to see that. But he started chasing cars. Not that there was a lot going down the street, but every, you know, a couple cars, whatever, he'd chase after them. And he'd get pretty close sometimes. And I'm like, man, that's not looking too good. And I noticed, you know, once he's outside, you ain't getting him inside. You ain't going to catch him. You're not going to, he's outside. Sorry about your luck. You ain't coming in. And I noticed when we would get in our car, either my little truck or the Tahoe, he would go like, take that whole car chase into, you know, tenfold, a whole nother level. And would basically get so close to the tire, we'd stop and try to chase him away, and just couldn't do it. So I said, well, let's just drive slow. You know, I'm not gonna like speed up so that he, you know, in case he's like right by the tire, I want to stay the same speed. I'll just let him get tired out as we go down the street. And I noticed he could run up to about 30 miles an hour. And I'm like, damn, I didn't realize dogs can run that fast. But that little sucker was booking. And you know, I see him in the rear view. Okay, so I know about over 35, he's, you know, can't keep up. So the other day, last week, we were just talking about in the morning. We said, man, and we'd already had this conversation about 3 or 4 times, but we started talking about it again as soon as we woke up. We said, man, one of these days, man, old Petey, I said, you know, we're gonna be the ones that kill this dog. We're gonna be the ones that run over our own dog. It ain't gonna be one of these people down the street. It's gonna be us, because he puts his whole damn face and right next in front of the tire, like whatever tire he's trying to get. It just, I've never seen anything like it. So the other day I started pulling out, and saw him, you know, doing his thing, going crazy to get our car. So you know, I'm stopped. I'm sitting there. I start backing up. He starts going that way because I'm backing up. So I see him going that way to get a little lead on us, and I put it in drive and take off. And I can't see him, so I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna go faster, because what if he's under the tire right now? He may be right behind the truck trailing us, but again, I know he can run up to 30. I can't see him already, so is he at the tire? I can't see, I don't know. So I'm thinking it looks like he's behind me. All right, I'm just gonna cruise at 20, you know, let him tire out. Next thing I know, boom, boom, boom. Oh no, I look in the mirror, the rear view. All I see is the dog, you know, he's laying down. I just ran him over, basically. Self-fulfilled prophecy, as we talked about in the morning, the same morning, just an hour before. I see him lift his head up. Like, as soon as it happened, his head was up and then went down. I mean, he was just, I don't even think it was like his final breath. It was just weird. It was just like he was dead. His head just like went like that, gone. So I'm like, oh man. I'm like, Evelyn, man, it just happened. She said, what? It just happened. I said, what we just talked about. Petey? She's like, no. She thought I was like kidding, you know. Like, I'm looking in the rear view. I didn't want to stop because I wanted to get away to where she and the kids didn't see him and laying in the street, which is pretty quick. Once I make this little curve right in front of our house. So I start going down another street. I'm trying to think, man, you know, I'm thinking, well, maybe the neighbors will see him and pull him off the road, and they're going to know he's our dog. He's the only little poodle dog around here. No one's got freaking poodles out in Tennessee. So they know our dog. I'm thinking, well, one of them will probably pick him up and move him. And she's like, well, you got to go back. He might be alive. You know, I'm like, he's not alive. There's no question. I was like, well, I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe the neighbor. I don't want the kids to see it. I was like, well, let me turn around. I'll go back, and because I was gonna like go do a circle. I was thinking to come back the other way, but then I'm like, no, they'll see him for sure. So I just turned back around the way we came, stopped before the little curve, kind of peeked around the corner. I got out and peeked, and he still didn't move from where I saw him. I knew he was done. So I'm like, you know, crap. So I left the car there. I went and walked up to the house, got my truck, put his, you know, dead body in my truck, drove around where they couldn't see me in the back part of our property, which is basically way over there to the left of that house in front of it, though, and set him back over there. And then we had to go to the bank and do some stuff, and I think I had to go to work that day. And then when I got home, I said, you know, we'll dig a hole and we'll bury him. So some neighbor kids came over, and that were friends of ours, and I just dug this little hole right here. We thought between these two trees or little bushes would be a spot, you know, a little spot to remember old Petey. And the kids brought out stuff, you know, they drew him some pictures, and there's some of his toys and that kind of thing. But I mean, you know, it'd be one thing if I came home and saw that someone ran him, you know, he's dead and someone ran him over. Not me, you know, not me running the dog over. But I mean, we tried so many times, stop, chase him, you know, get him in the back, try to call him like, hey, you know, you want to go for a ride? Because he'll like to, you know, he'll come if he knows he's going for a ride, kind of thing. But he's a smart, poodles are smart dogs anyways. He already knew. You know, you ain't checking me. You did that one time, and you know, you got me once, and you're not gonna do it again. So, you know, my wife's here alone right now with the kids when I'm at work, and her little buddy, you know, Petey, is dead. You know, I freaking killed him, ran him over. You know, I know it was an accident. You know, I'm not like blaming myself or her too, but you know, she's like, well, what if we would have grabbed a ball and tried to throw it? And none of that stuff really works. I mean, he knows what you're trying to do. And I've never seen any dog actually run in front of a tire as it's going, and its body is like, he's like sideways trying to, you know, like he would get close to us. So, you know, that's why I said I'm not going to keep going and accelerate, because if I can't see him, I don't know where he's at. I don't want to go faster to where he can't keep up, and then he gets tired out, and then I run him over. You know, I said I'll just go 20 and keep it steady, because usually that's fine, and that's usually my little pattern, and he runs off to the side and everything's fine. Not this time. So anyways, I just feel like talking a little bit about whatever, kind of going outside, talking. It's nice out here, it's quiet, peaceful, and just give y'all a little update what's going on. So take care.